Hello, and welcome to my channel. Today's story is the story of a Polish Miss World whose life was ended by a psycho fan. Agnieszka Kotlarska was born on August 15, 1972 in Wrocław, Poland. After graduating from high school, she began studying at the Wrocław University of Technology. However, she was not given the opportunity to complete her studies. Because of her above-average beauty, the girl began her adventure in modeling. In the early 1990s she was successful on a local scale, becoming Miss Lower Silesia. However, the young woman's life changed dramatically on July 19, 1991, the day Agnieszka took part in the Miss Polonia contest. The event took place at the Forest Opera in Sopot. Agnieszka won the crown for the most beautiful Polish woman. While this was an impressive achievement, the greatest success was yet to come. The real springboard to a great career turned out to be the Miss International contest held in the Japanese capital, Tokyo. On October 13, 1991, that is, less than 3 months after winning the national competition, Agnieszka again beat her rivals. This time, however, they were beauty queens from around the world. In addition to winning the Miss International title, Agnieszka was also awarded in the Miss Photo category. After winning this prestigious competition, the door to the world of fashion opened for Agnieszka. In 1992, Kotlarska signed a contract with the prestigious Ford agency, which was based in New York and Paris. Agnieszka began working as a model and appearing in fashion shows and commercials. It is worth noting that she worked with the most recognized fashion designers. Among them can be mentioned Ralph Lauren or Calvin Klein. Photos of the Wrocław-based model appeared in international editions of Cosmopolitan, Vogue or on the cover of the Poly-SH magazine Tuj Still. In July 1996, Agnieszka planned to take part in a photo shoot in Paris. She was supposed to get there by plane from New York. The session was postponed, and the model had to change plans. Thus, she avoided death by resigning at the last minute on TWA Flight 800, which crashed shortly after takeoff, near Long Island in New York State, USA. All passengers and crew were killed. One of the victims was a photographer who worked with Kotlarska. There is no denying that Agnieszka was incredibly lucky. The news about the tragic accident, and the fact that the former Miss Poland could have died and it was publicized by the media. The information also reached Jerzy Lisiuski. The man was 12 years older than Agnieszka and led an ordinary life. He had graduated from college and worked in a bank. However, he was quite shy and had little experience with women. The situation was not made easier by the fact that he still lived with his parents. It can be said that his life was boring and repetitive until he met Kotlarska. Apparently, he saw Agnieszka one day at a wedding dress show and fell madly in love with her. The girl was still in high school and had a great career yet to come. Jerzy's affection soon turned into a mad fascination. Lisiuski began to follow Agnieszka, an activity that consumed more and more time. At the time the term was not used, but today we would say that he was her stalker. The man also gained more information about the teenager. He learned that she was attending the same school that he had graduated from years ago. One time he got up the courage and talked to Agnieszka on the bus. The girl was nice, so they started an innocent chat. At the end, Lisiuski offered to walk her home. Agnieszka agreed. She had no idea at the time that she had thus met her future murderer. The man, in turn, learned where his future victim lived. He also wrote letters to her. However, Agnieszka did not reciprocate the feeling. Before the Miss Polonia contest, which she won, she met Jarosław Swiatek, who was one of the organizers of the pageant. They quickly became a couple and got married in New York. In late 1993, however, the couple returned to Poland. They decided to buy a house in Agnieszka's hometown. In 1994, meanwhile, their daughter was born. One could say that their life was idyllic. However, everything changed when Lisiuski found out about Agnieszka's return. Then the dormant and sick fascination returned. The man quickly managed to find out where the model lived. On August 27, 1996, the man lurked in front of Kotlarska's house, waiting for her return. The wait paid off. The Swiatek family finally drove up in a car. Lisiuski wanted at all costs to see his beloved and talk to her. He asked her to get out of the car. However, Agnieszka did not feel like it. Jerzy then got angry and became even more forward and aggressive. Yaroslav decided to act. He got out of the car and started threatening to call the police. At this point, a jealous Lisiuski rushed at Swiatek with a knife. He stabbed him in the thigh. Agnieszka then rushed to her husband's aid. She tried to overpower the attacker, but he was stronger than her. The madman inflicted 4 blows with a knife on Agnieszka. Unfortunately, they hit internal organs. Yaroslav managed to stun the attacker and move his wife to the car, where she was safe. Unfortunately, the injuries proved fatal. The model died on the way to the hospital. Her husband was more fortunate. The killer, however, fled the scene. In shock, he handed the murder weapon to a woman he came across on the street. Soon after, he called the police and confessed. Later the same day, Lisiuski was arrested and later convicted by the court. The sentence for such a crime was quite lenient. The man spent 15 years in prison. He was released in 2012. It is worth mentioning that this was not the only criminal incident on Lisiuski's account. On August 5, 2014, that is, 2 years after his release from prison, Jerzy attacked some man of Romanian origin. This took place in the killer's apartment in Wrocław. The man, whose identity has not been established, wanted to break into one of the houses for the purpose of robbery. He found some valuable items inside, such as computer equipment and a cell phone. However, the thief had no idea that he was not alone in the apartment. Its owner, who just turned out to be Lisiuski, reached for a knife with a nearly 30-centimeter blade and quietly sneaked up on the Romanian citizen. The blow was so powerful that it pierced the lung. The wounded Romanian, however, managed to escape. Jerzy Lisiuski tried to chase him. One of the passers-by asked him to call the police. When officers arrived at the scene, they arrested the knife man. The man was taken into custody on charges of grievous bodily harm. The regional court in Wrocław sentenced Lisiuski to 1.5 years in prison. Considering his criminal past, this sentence also seems too lenient. Agnieszka Kotlarska was buried on August 30, 1996 in the Wrocław cemetery on Grabasinska Street. To this day, her husband fears for his life and the life of his daughter. For this reason, he protects the privacy of his family. Particularly sad is the fact that her daughter, who was tiny at the time, saw her mother die. She was so young that she reportedly does not remember the traumatic event. However, this does not change the fact that due to the unhealthy fascination of the murderer, the girl had to grow up without a mother. At the beginning of 2023, disturbing information emerged. It turned out that a copy of the book, Ballads of Murderers, Kryminalny Wrocław, contained strange additions. The publication included a report by Izia Michailowicz about the murder case of Agnieszka Kotlarska. Everything indicates that it was the model's murderer himself who added his remarks. Previously, this information was not available to the public and only a person directly connected with the case could know about it. The notes put the victim's husband in a bad light. Not surprisingly, relatives of the tragically murdered woman continue to fear for their own safety. Not only that he killed his wife and the mother of his child, got a ridiculously low punishment, but now he still does not let himself be forgotten. This is the end of this sad story. Stay safe.